It's your boy JB, also known as I am Battlestrong, and we have our special guest Collins with us, who is the author of Just the Other Day. This go through challenges, you'll become stronger and stronger, hence leading to an excellent opportunity for growth. Man, so that's
Yes.
how you pronounce it.
The same way
Okay.
you do yours, I believe,
Kolly, unapaswa,
unapaswa.
unapaswa.
Yeah, so that will be Kolly, unapaswa kuhusika kila wakati katika michezo kama wanafunzi wengine. And again, that is Kolly, you should always be involved in sports like other students.
Awesome. I love that, which
Yes,
is the title of chapter 9, guys.
absolutely.
So, Kolly, you shouldn't always be involved in sports like other
I'm, so,
students. And then
I'm
how do
sorry,
you say
Joshua.
it?
Sorry, so it's going to be Kolly, you should, not you shouldn't.
Oh, Kolly, you
Yes,
should always be
yes.
involved in sports like other students.
Yeah, so Kolly, unapaswa kuhusika kila wakati katika michezo kama wanafunzi wengine.
I like that. Awesome.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Guys, we're going to get stronger and stronger with our Swahili as we continue to keep going. It was the same year that Bolt won the Olympic 100-meter finals in 9.69 seconds.
Mhm.
The world record he'd break again a year later in the 2009 Berlin World Championships when he ran a staggered time of 9.58 seconds, which many have tried and failed to match. And for all the younger students, guys don't know Usain Bolt. He's the I had to shout him out. I had to do his little signature move there.
The fastest man in the world.
Yeah, literally. And I have a background in track myself, so this is awesome to know this about you.
Yes,
And to relate with you on this. This is awesome because I remember those times, brother. It says that
absolutely.
the students who witnessed me run in 2008 said, "You're fast." I was just a kid. I never took their words seriously. I should have done better. I should have done better. If they saw in me and they were just kids, that means I was indeed fast. And because I never took them seriously, uh, is why I'm not the current Usain Bolt. It
Mhm.
says use your talent wisely. The fact that I had a running talent, I threw it
Mhm.
away like
Mhm.
that and just focused more on education. Not a
Yeah.
bad idea because education is key. It
Mhm.
says I should have balanced both. It's crazy because,
Yes.
man, we relate in so many ways because I,
Mhm.
I focused on education and kind of, had scholarship offers all over to run track long
Mhm.
distance. And
Yeah.
for me, it was more so, but this isn't about me. We're staying your story. It's just cool that we relate on that area. It's
Mhm.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
So it says, when I joined high school in February 2013, I assured myself that I would try to get involved into sports more frequently. My mom would have been proud of me if I ever did this. Instead, I continued to focus more on education, again with the minimum appearance in any sporting events.
Mhm.
I think would have aside from running, I think I would have succeeded in Tarab given. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Tar,
Tarab. Tarab.
Tar,
Yes. Mhm.
Tarab.
Mhm.
And Tarab, given my beautiful voice. Tarab is a musical style that is popular among the people who spoke
Mhm.
Swahili in East Africa.
Yeah.
One of the songs that was sung and danced to by students in competitions in most schools in
Mhm.
Kenya was uh,
Charonyi
ta,
wa. Charonyi ni
sa,
wasi.
Chironi.
Ni
Uh,
wasi.
no,
Charonyi ni wasi.
Chironi Niwasi. That's
Yes.
it.
AKA Wadawida.
Greatest U.S.
Air
Air
Force.
Force.
Mhm.
I started off with one. I started off with 1.5 miles in 2018 while in Texas, and it motivated me to perform even better. My time in the 1.5-mile races continued to decrease. My
Mhm.
best time in this event was 7 minutes 33 seconds. Now, this time was recorded in Denver 2019 while in Denver, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This time was recorded in December 2019 while
Mhm.
in Virginia during my annual physical fitness test. It says
Yes.
besides 1.5 miles, I participated in running events that were going around Hampton Roads, Virginia. I would sign up for races, then show up and participate. It was very interesting and exciting to run with other runners as we struggled to cross the finish line together. Some of the races I participated in were 5Ks, 5 miles, 10Ks, and 10 miles. Anything beyond 10 miles would not only make me uncomfortable, but also
You're right.
deranged.
Mhm.
My best experience in running and in my running career was that March 19th, 2019, when I got coined by Army 4-star General Townsend after I had won the Fort Eastix 10K,
But- mhm.
where I finished with a time of 36 minutes 39 seconds. That's an average of 5:54 per mile, and I felt on top of the world. Let's go, brother. That's a great time, bro. I'm telling you, I
Yeah,
used to run, dude. We gotta run together.
yeah, we
That's
should.
sick. That'd be fun. It
Are you
says
good
a
in
month.
short? Sorry, are you good in short distance races or long distance as well?
No, bro. I was a long distance runner, bro. I used to run 5Ks. I ran in college, like competitive. I ran
Oh, okay.
427 in miles, an all stater and everything. So
Yeah,
it'd be fun to just reconnect in that type of area. Because as I'm reading this, I'm like, dude, this dude, he like he, like we could have ran together back in the day. Like,
yes. Mhm. Yeah. So I believe next year we should sign up for half memorial marathon.
I'm with it, bro. I can do that. Let's do
Yes.
it.
Or if we can, if you want, we can start with the 10K.
We can do it, bro. We can do it.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Yes.
we really, I think that would be nice to introduce just my running background again because that's something I was very gifted at as well. I
Mhm.
just, it's not that I took it for granted. I ran for more reasons than just like winning races and stuff. It was just the adversity, you know. There's
Yeah.
nothing like runner's high. You know, every runner has that runner's high, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
But this is, yeah, that's a great time, brother. Like for a
Mhm.
10K, that's sick. Um, a month later, I participated. This is so cool. A month later, I participated in UCrop's Monument Avenue 10K that was presented by Kroger. I ran 10 seconds faster than the Fort E6 10K. I finished in 36 minutes 29 seconds. The day prior to my race, my best friend Joseph, his wife Mary, and I had driven from Yorktown to Richmond, where he spent the night before racing the next day. I had accompanied Joseph and Mary for support. They were my greatest cheerleaders. I was so pumped that shout out
Mhm.
to Cracker Barrel. You gotta love that place. How
They,
did you
they
go
saved
ahead?
my day.
You said what? If you want to be a good runner, mentality is everything, and he's right.
Yeah.
That's man, it taught me a lot. It says someone may be wondering why is mentality important? For instance, let's say you have a fitness test in a month and you haven't been running for a year. In order to retain or remain in the military to avoid being kicked out, you must pass your test. What will
Mhm.
you do? The answer is just simple. You'll push yourself. And that's the mentality
Itself.
by itself.
Mhm.
I have always loved running since I was little. Because of the fact I'm originally from Kenya, people I'm laughing because people used to say, Josh, you gotta be from Kenya or something. And dude, I didn't know we were related on this area together. This is really awesome, dude. There's
Yes.
a lot, there's a lot in the future, man, we can do. I'm excited.
Mhm.
It says, I'm gonna restart this because it's so fun. It says, I've always loved running since I was little. Because of the fact I'm originally from Kenya, people always assumed that I'm fast, which is not always true. Sometimes I try to convince them that I'm not fast, but they still wouldn't believe me. I'm from Western Kenya. This region doesn't produce long distance runners much as the Rift Valley regions do. In fact, it produces sprinters.
Mhm.
Most Kenyan runners come from the same ethnic groups,
Mhm.
known as the
Kalenjin.
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 Kalenjin. Known
Yes.
as
He's
the
one of the
Kalenjin.
tribe in Kenya.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Known as
Mhm.
the Kalenjin, which is also a tribe in Kenya, guys,
Mhm.
for anyone that might have missed that. And
Yeah.
the Nandi.
Yeah. They're also proud. And you got right, actually.
Okay,
Yes.
nice.
Mhm.
Why is Kenya so good at distance running? And that's something we've all asked even in the past, brother. Man, you know, we show up at a college event, we see any Kenyans, we're like, all right. And we had some Kenyans on our team too. So it was we had a guy named Freddie. Shout out to I gotta show you some pictures after this. I'll send them to you. It's awesome. This is so cool. It
Mhm.
says Why Kenya? I'm just amazed at your story, brother.
Mhm.
Because we relate in so many areas.
Yes.
Why is Kenya so good at distance running? This question is so common. Most Kenyan athletes train in high altitude area daily. Given environment, it allows for good running in most competitions.
Yes.
On the track and field, the 800 meters, the event that I would have succeeded in if I was truly a runner at a competition level. That was my
Mhm.
specialty, 800
Yes. Yes. 2 laps, but very
and the
special actually.
miles. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a tough
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
When he broke
Mhm.
his own world record in 2012, he executed it comfortably and effortlessly.
Mhm.
Looking at all of the races he's participated in, he doesn't seem to struggle like other athletes. His running form is formidable.
Mhm.
There's no doubt that his current world record will hold for a long time before any athlete matches it, just like that of Usain Bolt.
Mhm.
Besides running, I have always enjoyed watching soccer. I could only
Mhm.
watch this sport, but not play it because I suck. You know what's funny?
Yes.
Soccer is the only sport that I didn't play because I was fast, which you probably had that too. But
Yes.
and I'm a coordinated person, but I sucked. So I never played soccer for that reason,
Yeah, soccer is
brother.
one of the sports that I actually love, And
Yeah,
you see, I love watching it. You'll see all my posts on Facebook is more of soccer because it's one of the sports that's very, very interesting to watch. And when it comes to playing, I'm not good actually. I'm very terrible. I really, really suck actually,
yeah,
as I did say in the book. And again, the reason why I love soccer is just the fact that it's one of the most followed sport in the world. And again, here they call it soccer, but in Europe or across Africa, they call it football.
yeah.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
Dude, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
So besides running, I've always enjoyed watching soccer. I could
Hmm.
only watch this sport, but not play
Hmm.
it because I suck. The
Yes.
fact is, I can juggle the ball comfortably. That I can
Hmm.
do. It says, but I can't dribble that well. It says,
Hmm.
I would rather watch soccer than football. When I
Hmm.
came to America, I was a little bit confused because back in Kenya, soccer is referred to as football.
Hmm.
Whereas in America, football is commonly used by the National Football League,
Hmm.
also known as the NFL. It says, which is professional American Football League.
Hmm.
The reason why would rather watch soccer than football is that I grew up in Kenya, where soccer is very common.
Hmm.
If I would have been born and raised in America, I would have enjoyed watching the NFL, and who knows, maybe I would have played it as well. I followed closely the
Hmm.
English Premier League. The league is contested by 20 clubs. It operates on a system of promotion and regulation. Um,
Relegation. Hmm.
or, or sorry, what was it? Sorry,
Relegation.
relegation. It
Yes.
says seasons typically, thank you. It says seasons typically run from August to May, with each team playing 38 matches.
Hmm.
Someone may be asking, what's your favorite team? It says, I'm a big
Manchester
fan of
City.
Manchester City. Shout
Yeah.
out to Manchester City, y'all. It
One of
says
the
the
best
best
league. One of the best team in the world.
best team in the world. Hey, you put in the book. Facts is facts. It is written, literally.
Yes.
Um, the best. Shout out to Manchester. It says the best team in the world, coached by one of the greatest managers, Pep. How do you pronounce his last name?
Guardiola. Guardiola.
Guardiola. Even though in my life I haven't been actively involved in sports more frequently, I
Hmm.
would like to encourage young men and women to be a part of it. It says it
Hmm.
pays off. Sports bring people from all over the world together, as
Hmm.
this does not only contribute to unity, but it also strengthens our relationships given
Hmm.
differences like race, sexual
Hmm.
orientation,
Hmm.
languages, culture, beliefs,
And
and
no,
norms.
absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the beauty of sport.
Yeah. Dude, that's a
Mhm.
powerful chapter.
Yes. It's very short also.
Yeah.
And again, it's more similar to Football Unite in my second book,
Mhm.
because in that book, I start with, despite the fact that racism is prevalent in football, it has still created a sense of respect, friendship in a spectacular way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
absolutely.
that's why I love sports in general, not only football or AKA soccer or soccer AKA football. I also love track and field as we talked about, and
Yeah.
not only track and field. I enjoy also rugby. And if you don't
Oh,
know, actually, Kenya is one of the best team when it comes to rugby sevens.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a fun fact. I did not know that.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I believe I really think Kenya is more well. Uh, I'm trying to put it this way. Even though we struggle in soccer because our national team is very poor, and
Hmm.
I'm not trying to say it's very poor. It's just probably different factors, and corruption is one of them.
Yeah.
And I'll probably say we are all over in almost each and every sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see we are competing in rugby, we're competing in track and field. We are also trying soccer, even though we don't have a good national team.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's what's up,
and
man.
and again, it's very, very. I'm really, really proud of Kenya for getting involved in sports. Even though they are getting involved in sports, I never did
Yeah.
because I took education so seriously. Mhm.
No, which makes sense, you know. I don't have the point of view of growing up in Kenya, but from just knowing you,
Yeah.
from the time that I've known you, it
Mhm.
seems like you're a person who seeks to understand. You're somebody who wants to continue to grow, someone who
Yeah.
wants to evolve.
Mhm.
And I think that's where I found myself sharing that similarity, where it was like,
Mhm.
man, I got plaques right now on my wall,
Mhm.
best attitude of world word. I got like MVP both years on cross
Mhm.
country, and that stuff was cool and stuff. But at the same time, I
Mhm.
ran for a different reason,
Mhm.
and then education was very important to me. So like, it was
Mhm.
one of those things that it's really neat because somebody can be gifted in a sport, right? Move to
Absolutely.
America from Kenya, get a
Mhm.
scholarship from running,
Yeah.
and provide and is provided a better opportunity
Mhm.
to grow and develop, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Contrary to maybe a third world,
Yeah.
but as we know,
Mhm.
you know, there's a certain part of
Mhm.
Kenya that's known for being fast. The other part is known for being sprinters,
Yeah.
and so
Like where I'm from.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
I love that because it just shows that perspective of
Mhm.
no matter where we're at in the world, we, in order to grow, in order to evolve, in order to improve ourselves, in order to improve those around us, we
Yeah.
have to continue our education.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, yes, Collins and myself, let's say we're still training back in the day, we're runners, we're star
Mhm.
athletes back in the day running. Let's say we're still training 10 years later.
Yeah.
Well, when it all comes down to it, we might have shaved maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds off of a 10K time, or maybe a minute. But
Mhm.
the faster you get, the less time you tread. So
Yeah.
it's one of
Mhm.
those things that in life, when you continue your education, there's no cap, right?
Yeah.
So there's no
Mhm.
cap. It's not like running 100 meters like Usain Bolt, and
Yeah.
then a year later he only gets like that much better. When
Mhm.
we take the time to enhance ourselves and
Mhm.
personally develop,
Yeah.
that's why I admire Collins so much, because he comes from a third world country
Mhm.
and he has the perspective, of course, that we don't in America. And he
Mhm.
says, you know what? I'm gifted in this. I
Mhm.
understand that I'm gifted in this. In fact, I'm confident that I could be the fastest, or I am the fastest, or was the fastest. However,
Mhm.
there's something else that about him. He's not
Yep.
just an athlete. And I
Yep.
think that's awesome in the book, because here we are, we see him. He's an
Mhm.
author.
Mhm.
He's a coach in my eyes.
Mhm.
He's literally he's serving our country, and he's
Mhm.
not even from this country. And so for
Mhm.
him to have those physical abilities to be able to, come over here if he wanted to and just focus on sports. But he
Yeah.
still wants to focus on his education, is continuing to do that,
Mhm.
seeking to understand others, people, places, and things.
Yes.
Um, and it's commendable, brother, because it's easy to get wrapped up in ourselves
Mhm.
when we are gifted in the sport, right?
Yeah.
Like I
Mhm.
knew if I would have ran track or cross country and did it just for the rewards and stuff like that, it would
Mhm.
have took the ambition out of putting the work in
Mm.
because I would have, oh, well, I'm gifted at this. I don't really got to work at it, you know. I'm semi gifted, you know.
Mhm.
I always worked hard, but it was just one of
Mhm.
those things where somebody walked up to me and was like, "Hey, man, like, you ever thought about running cross country?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm a football player, dude. Like, don't disrespect me." You know, that's kind of how I was feeling.
Yeah.
But make a
Mhm.
long story short, this person, his name was Coach Todd Hersey. He actually
Yeah.
just retired from Peoria Richwoods, which is my high school back in Peoria. So shout out to them.
Mhm.
Um, but he was somebody who was also a teacher, right?
Yeah.
And so I knew that, okay, this person can teach me a lot more than just being quote unquote fast or a great athlete.
Yeah.
And so that's what I commend about focus on nobody and just
Yes.
spend, you know, like that. But instead, he's like
Mm.
education. And
Yes.
so the reason why I'm focusing on that is for the youth, for people to understand, and people in the world to understand that
Mhm.
our education is what's
Mhm.
going to continue to drive us
Mhm.
forward, right?
Yeah.
So when
Mhm.
as a distance runner, you got to take each step. Your legs are going to be burning. You're going to feel like quitting, right? But
Mhm.
in this life, when we seek to understand, it opens up new paths, new lanes to
Yep.
continue to grow and you get farther in life, right? So
Mhm.
instead of that
Mhm.
10K, it turns into a marathon
Half marathon. Mhm.
because life is not a sprint, right? So
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
just want to share that advice to the world because uh, I mean he put it blatantly clear in the book. You know,
Mhm.
is that sports bring us together, and when we have opportunities to come together, we have so many opportunities and doors of new knowledge, right? New wisdom, right?
Yeah.
New understandings and stuff,
Mhm.
and so. That's what's special, just about
Yeah.
people's testimonies and their trials and tribulations. And that's what we see through this book of just the other day. Now, if anyone has
Really.
any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments.
Mhm.
Um, man, brother, I can see a lot of. I don't know if you'd be open to it, but I've always thought in the back of my head, like,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm so busy doing great things today, but I
Yeah.
thought I was like, man, in the future,
Mhm.
could I see? Could I? I mean, I could see myself coaching long distance again and potentially running. I remember Ed Ricka. He was one of my coaches. He was in his 50s or 60s, but every year he would break 5 minutes in the mile. And
Mhm.
of course, I ran 4:27 in the mile as an all stater, but he'd run
Mhm.
with me and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking as a kid, like, I, I don't want to be like Ed Ricka based on,
Mhm.
oh, I want to break a 5 minute mile in my 50s and 60s and see how many years I can do it consecutively till I can't do it. But
Yeah.
the reason why he was doing it wasn't based on that. It was more so I'm gonna set the bar for myself so that way
Mhm.
it holds me accountable as a man to continue to wake up every day and put the work in. And that's what I
Yeah.
love about sports is because
Mhm.
no Kobe Bryant wasn't
Mhm.
just born out the womb
Yep.
shooting buckets. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Steph
Mhm.
Curry wasn't born just shooting three pointers, right?
Yep. Mhm.
And so it
Yep.
reinforces us to continue our education, and that's what
Yep.
sports is you have
Mhm.
to learn
Mhm.
adversity, you have to
Mhm.
learn how to fall down and get up, you got to
Mhm.
learn sportsmanship, how to clap for other people when they're
Mhm.
down,
Mhm.
or when they're winning, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
healthy sportsmanship, and so there's a lot of great things that we can take from sports
Mhm.
and apply that education within sports, right?
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
I think it was cool. I didn't expect that in the book. Like I said, I tried to cheat several times and be like, let me just look ahead. Let me look ahead a little bit. But I was like, no, I can't, man, because it's I'm just so impressed, man. He's like,
Yes.
hit it, and he just points. And when he points, we know the big loop, right? We know the super big loop we had to run around. Well, for
Yeah.
some reason, anybody that knows me, like especially personally, they know, like, dude, I've always had a lot of energy, and people couldn't stand it for some reason. It was like he'd send us on a run, and
Mhm.
I'd run. and I'm just like, he told us to run, so I'm just running, but I happened to be gifted at it and didn't know. So I
Yeah.
get back like 2 to 3 minutes before everyone,
Mhm.
and the coaches are just talking, they're huddling up, and then in my head, I'm like, oh, I kind of get to rest before we get to doing drills and stuff. And then everybody comes back and they're looking
Yeah.
at me like mad and pissed, and I'm just like, and then that's when I got discovered, like, hey man, like by the cross country coach. He saw it. He's like, dude, like I see you over there run, like come over here. And I went over there, and next thing you know, I was getting interviewed. Like
Mm.
I ended up being one of the best in the state of Illinois in 2000
Yeah.
years of 2000 what 7 through 2009. And
Yeah.
but I never would have known that if somebody didn't see that potential in me. I was just
Yeah.
running a mile in gym class or whatnot. But
Yeah.
dude, you gotta love it, man.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Mhm.
When's the last time you went on a run? I just asking because I haven't went on a run in a while because I'm so busy. But I thought about buying some new running shoes, and I mean, having a running buddy is better than running out here by myself getting chased by dogs.
Well,
So I get chased by
also the other
dogs on
day
my
you were
bike.
being
So
chased on a motorcycle, you know?
yeah, I know. I got chased by a motorcycle, and I thought about running the other day. Actually, I was like, man, like, because one of
Mhm.
my agents, he went on a 5 mile run or 2 mile
Yeah.
run. So I was like, man, I really want to go on a run, but as
Mm.
much times that I've been getting chased by dogs, I'm like, man. But and it's okay. I carry mace and stuff with me, but still, it's just like it's a problem out here where I'm at, and so
Yeah.
it's like it's a real problem. So,
Yeah.
but that's no excuse though. There's places where I can go out and run and stuff like that. It's not like I can't. I just have
Yeah.
to find time, and I've been doing stationary bikes and different things as far as my cardio, but
Yeah.
um running is so sentimental to me where I respect it so much to where
Mhm.
I was just telling somebody today, I was like, man, when I go out, I could go out on a 10 mile run right now and just go out and run. But it's not about I couldn't run the same pace as I used to run, at all.
Yeah.
But I could go out and run 10 miles and just do it. But the thing is and the meaning of it for me, I
Yeah.
loved it because it's the discipline. And it taught me a lot of the discipline that I have to do as an entrepreneur today. And so
Yeah.
that's what I meant earlier by the education within sports that
Yes.
we can that we can that we can have. But
Yes.
as kids, we don't really identify.
Why World Cup is considered one of the most competitive tournament in the entire world, you know?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. That's what I really loved about sports, and I remember, I think every person in the world who plays sports, when you see it teaches you a lot about life.
Mhm.
You can take a lot of things out of sports and apply it to life, right?
Yes.
Like when you fall down, you get back up. And what happens in sports as
Mhm.
athletes, when somebody falls, everyone stops the whole game and everything.
Yeah.
For the most part, if you're in football, someone's injured or something, they're gonna stop, and then when
Mhm.
that person gets up, that's when
Yeah.
everybody claps. Both teams,
Yes.
they clap, right?
Mhm.
Or at the end of the game, you see them shake hands, and that's
Mhm.
teaching you sportsmanship and stuff. I think as kids, right, we go through that phase where we're so eager to learn, we're so eager to touch. What is this? What is that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but as we get older and we
Mhm.
develop, right, we're told what we can't do. We're told we're not good enough. We're told we're not fast enough. And then during those periods of time, some of
Mhm.
us can stop growing simply due to those, or stop trying simply due to those characteristics or attributes that we had in sports. So it's like if I'm an athlete and I'm
Mhm.
told that I'm not fast enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, this, that, and third, well,
Mhm.
I might apply those things to life,
Mhm.
and those unhealthy affirmations,
Mhm.
negative affirmations from the world's perspective and not God's perspective, but the world's perspective,
Mhm.
might diminish my or deteriorate my journey, right? Of
Yes.
of being
Yes.
and finding that true success,
Yeah.
because that potential lies within all of us. It's just a matter of developing it and sharpening it, right? And so,
Mhm.
I don't
And
think
that's
any artist
mhm.
is just born just like a
Mhm.
Picasso.
Yeah.
It's like they
Mhm.
gotta pick up a paintbrush and try sometimes before they just make a first
Mhm.
time masterpiece.
Yeah. And that's why you see with all these famous players, they get coached, and that's why there's coach to sharpen them.
Yeah, yeah. Even I have coaches. I'm a
Yeah.
life coach myself, but I have
Mhm.
coaches. I go to
Mhm.
Collins for advice. I go to,
Mhm.
I mean, everyone in my circle I can go to for advice, whether
Yes.
it's fixing a car, whether it's
Mhm.
my buddies were two of my agents today was helping me with motorcycle questions that I had.
Yeah.
And we're in life insurance together. And so it's just nice to be around people who can feed you information that you can learn from because that's
Mhm.
what's crucially important. Kobe could have told you everything about the game because he was always in the gym.
Yeah.
And he took his game seriously.
Mhm.
And some people thought he was cocky and arrogant, but the reason why he was the way he was, shout out to you for that.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. I want to share this, guys, because I think this will help a lot of
Yeah.
people. Always remember this
Mhm.
when, especially as us men, when
Yes.
we wear our heart on our sleeve, right? The
Mhm.
world kind of can look down on us, but the way I see it, I'm gonna give you guys some free game. That is my in my eyes is very valuable. It's not to pat myself on the back. I believe God shared this with me. This is
Yeah.
free game.
Mhm.
It's look. They
Mhm.
say that you have to understand the game of chess, right, to understand life.
Mhm.
You don't. You only got to understand the first move.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you guys why.
Mhm.
Because listen, when somebody's honest with you, right? Just like in the Bible, it's
Yeah.
transparent. You're
Yep.
reading real stories, real trials and tribulations that turned into
Mhm.
testimonies, right? So
Mhm.
when we show our true self, right? When
Mhm.
Devin says, he's getting comfortable with, he's trying to learn how to be comfortable with being himself, which
Mhm.
we all struggle with that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, because what is this person gonna think? What is that person gonna think? But this is the best thing
Yeah.
is me growing up in a family full of all women.
Yeah.
I watched men, right? Because men have hurt women in my family.
Mhm.
This is free game, guys. I'm telling you, this is
Mhm.
free game. I would not waste you guys' time. God
Yes.
taught me this. I noticed as a kid, as an observer, I said, wow, when a woman is honest with a man,
Mhm.
right? She can be honest with her story. And if
Mhm.
that man takes her truth, no
Mhm.
matter what she's been through, her trauma, her
Mhm.
pain, whatever it is, young men, hear me out
Yep.
because you don't.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Through similar thing that probably you or I have gone through.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely, and
because
and that's what makes it special.
mhm. Yeah, and again, I know each and everyone outside here are fighting battles, and again, if you look his shirt, it says the battle has already been won,
The
and
battle has
every day is
already been
always
won,
another
y'all.
opportunity. You know.
Another day's art. This is my signature
Mhm.
T-shirt, y'all. And I saw a comment,
Mhm.
Dylan Price. He said, "Hello, Battlestrong. Where
Mhm.
can I get one of your T-shirts?" I appreciate you, brother. So if you look in the description on my
Mhm.
page on my YouTube channel, it
Mhm.
has the link to my store.
Yeah.
Or you can private message me on Instagram or on
Mhm.
YouTube. Let me know
Yes.
your size,
Mhm.
address, color, and
Mhm.
I can get you guys out T-shirts whenever.
Mhm.
I'm really busy, so I only start on everything once I accept the first payment or whatnot. But all T-shirts right now
Mhm.
are $40. These are my signature T-shirts. It's got the logo on the back, and so again, guys, I'm grateful for just those of you guys that show up, those of you guys that are starting to just be regulars. I'm just so grateful to get to
Mhm.
know. The more I read books, the more you see life, and it is a movie, and
Mhm.
we are the directors to this movie.
Mhm.
But it's still in our control to wake up. And I want to
Mhm.
say this, guys, because a lot of times we as non
Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
financially. intellectually, socially, geographically, expanding your networks.
We become we become fools, you know.
Unlearn how I saw money, right? I never envied anybody. It was another opportunity to
Mhm.
crush this day, to learn
Yep.
something. We looked at as witchcraft, right? So
Mhm.
we're learning about different spiritual things. We're learning all all around through this
Mhm.
book of his transparency because he decided
Mhm.
in this life I'm going to
Yeah.
share my story. I'm going to play chess. I'm not going to put a facade on. I'm going
Yep.
to actually be who I am, and
Mhm.
that's success.
Yep.
That is being successful. It's
Mhm.
not, hey guys, let's show you guys our Lamborghini.
Yeah.
No, that's
Mhm.
not success. We don't have one. I don't know if he has one, but
No, I do
but I
not.
definitely don't have one. This is crazy, just because it's just I don't know. They say everything happens for a reason, and I'm grateful for the brotherhood that we have, Collins.
Yeah.
And
And
for those that
again,
don't know,
it's one of these days.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to tell them, guys, we're gonna be going to Kenya soon.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
it will be at by page informative,
Yeah.
very resourceful.
Mhm.
Every
Wales, I believe, I'm assuming is a country.
oh
Yeah, Wales is a
yeah, the
country.
whole world can see this. Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
world can see
Hmm.
this.
Yep. Wales is a
Maybe
country in
maybe
Europe.
those in
Mhm.
outer space, maybe some aliens are out there too. Hopefully they can see it. We come in
Yep.
peace, y'all.
Yes.
Don't invade us.
Yes. Do you have any question for me, Joshua? I know we have talked about sports and other things, and I'm always grateful to share anything with you, and also learning from you and hearing your story as well.
Yeah. Um, I would say so for running, because I know for me, what running did for me is it built that resilience.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of different things. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to the
Mhm.
UK, shout out to the
Yes. Which
UK.
team? Hey, Dylan, which team do you support in UK? Hopefully he replies, because all these you
Oh,
hear
I
about
think he
Premier
would.
League. Yeah, you hear about Premier League is more in UK, and that's where Manchester City is.
Mm,
Yeah, it's actually in the city of Manchester in the UK.
okay.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Dylan Price. That's what's
Hmm.
up, man. We reached Kenya.
Yes.
But dude, I'd love to go to a sporting event. I'm telling you, when I'm there, I'm trying to the food was homeless, for several years, moving house to house during COVID. And again, without sports,
Hmm.
I don't think I don't know. Who knows where I'd be because sports taught me that
Yeah.
discipline. Sports taught me, oh, it hurts. My arms
Yeah.
hurt. It's burning. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
supposed to burn. This is life. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that we
Hmm.
can, you know, um, compare in life with
Hmm.
sports and life is that you're gonna get hit,
Yep.
right? You're gonna get blindsided, right? You ever seen a soccer player running full speed down the field and then gets checked by somebody and they just get knocked to the ground? You're
Hmm.
gonna get hit. You ever seen a boxer be in the ring and then out of nowhere they get boom, they get hit with that uppercut? You're gonna
Yes.
get hit. You ever
Hmm.
seen a football player running a touchdown? He thinks he won a touchdown. He's running and then boom, he gets knocked off the sideline.
Hmm.
Life is gonna hit us, guys.
Yep.
We gotta get uncomfortable and we gotta learn how to stay uncomfortable because in our comfort zones,
Hmm.
there's no room for growth in our comfort zone. So
Hmm.
doing podcasts like this, maybe you've
Hmm.
never started a podcast before. Maybe you feel like, well, I don't have a microphone like Josh. Well, I want to tell you guys something. I just got a microphone. I've been doing podcasts for the last probably
Hmm.
3 years. And
Hmm.
so I started from scratch. And so
Yeah.
you don't
Hmm.
got to be the fastest. You don't got to be the sharpest. You
Hmm.
don't be the person with all the answers. And
Yep.
what I would say to anybody,
Hmm.
sorry,
Hmm.
what I would say to anybody, and especially learn, he
Yeah.
could be a great soccer player if he learned, right?
Mhm.
And so it's all about applying ourselves. And so I guess to end this, always understand there's a testimony at the end. The
Mhm.
battle has already been won.
Absolutely.
So,
Wow.
um,
That's and also other ethnicities. And again, it's a very good book. It has the 18 chapters in total. And the last one being together we can make a difference.
Hey, I like that, man. He's right.
Absolutely.
Together we can make a difference.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And where
Yep.
does that phrase come from?
Mhm.
Being on an actual team, right?
Yes.
Sports.
Mhm.
And so I'm not the biggest fan of sports in general. Like you won't catch me really watching sports.
Mhm.
I have to be working, putting in work, serving or something at the same
Yeah.
time. But
Mhm.
I have a respect for sports and what
Mhm.
it teaches us, the principles it
Absolutely.
teaches us, the morals it teaches us. And
Mhm.
this was a great episode, brother. And I don't say
Absolutely.
that to pat myself on the back. I say that based on your book, the what we
Mhm.
learned through the
Yes. Mhm.
Chester. Shout out to the UK. Shout out
Mhm.
to everybody that comes across these videos. I don't know
Mhm.
where all you guys are from,
Mhm.
but shout out to Dylan and brother. If you want a T-shirt,
Mhm.
feel
Mhm. Mhm.
talk as well. If
Mhm.
you look at the description, you'll have all the info on where you guys can buy shirts. But you can if you personally get it from me,
Mhm.
like DM me.
Mhm. Mhm.
No
Mhm.
assistant, but Jesus Christ. Well, I'm his assistant, so
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm just
Absolutely.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
any wars that you're putting on your chest or on your shoulders by yourself, young men out there, or young women. You might feel
Mhm.
like you're doing it all alone. You might feel like you're all alone. The return trip to God, you might feel away from Him, but the return trip to Him is only one step away. So I encourage those of you guys to accept Him into your heart and jump in the game with Jesus, because you jump in the game with Jesus, you're always going to get those W's. Always. Jesus don't lose. Show me one battle he's lost. Exactly. The battle has already been won. That's why we battle strong. Another
Absolutely.
day is always another opportunity.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. I like that. I like that. And again, I will see you actually in the next session, Joshua. I can't wait to do that. And you
Me
mentioned
too.
you don't watch soccer. I'm actually about to go ahead and follow. Yep. Next week on
So you're
Friday.
just driving to Arlington, then you're coming right back?
No, I'm going to spend the night at my friend's house.
Oh, it's doing that loading thing. It says skip ad. No, we gotta skip the ad. All
Yes.
right. Let's see here. It's like in that commercial kind of phase. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like I don't know if it started, but the stadium is jumping.
Sports. And again, it's just the fact that people wants to get subscribers on the YouTube. That's what you see.
Family. Shout out to everyone else that joined in. Uh,